Hi friends, be cut. Brain is creating thoughts. This is called Piso, bringing up more truth and facts. We have an election in this great country of ours, the United States of America. And we have two candidates. But we have to remember that the candidates are evolved mutated primates. They are both born out of a fuck, like all human beings are. Emerging out of a cave 9 months later with a blank brain, with no information. Let's keep in mind that the brain creates the mind and thinking. We have to examine the upbringing and the mental health of our leaders. Now, would you allow a pilot on a plane that takes 200 million passengers in the trip and the pilot has a mental problems, cannot tell between fantasy and reality, believes in gods and angels and demons and curses and a life after death and rest of delusions found in schizophrenia and in all religions, all product of our brains. When the brain malfunction, it produces malfunctioning thoughts, distorted, disconnected thoughts. I'm going to bring you clips of the debate between Christ-Psychosis infected with Mormon psychosis, Mitt Romney, born in a wealthy family, in a Christ-Psychosis infected home. That's his upbringing. Keep that in mind. Never forget what is creating his thinking, his thoughts, his English, his expressions. They're all creations of the brain. And then we have President Obama. And you can see the difference. The man, mentally healthy, summa cum laude. Let's keep in mind the education of the person. We must question the mental health of our leaders. Would you like a schizophrenic or a drug addict to fly you someplace or to drive you any place? No. Would you allow a schizophrenic to be your doctor and treat you? To operate you? Would you allow that? But they do. There's a lot of Christ-Psychotic infected doctors and lawyers and congressmen, senators that believe in imaginary, absurd, deluded things. Bizarre mythological beliefs that created malfunctioning brains, created in all religious faith and all neurological disorders, basically like a schizophrenia, temporal lobe epilepsy. This is proving a neurology lab by operating your brain. Because the brain is the one that creates the mind, creates the irrational, bizarre mythological beliefs of gods, demons, and alien abductions, and the rest of fantasies and delusions. Keep in mind, this is the 21st century, not the 12th. So here is a debate. Observe, and I want to make some observations on this, the two people. Remember, they're both product of a fuck. And they're both creating the neurons in the brain are getting the ideas. But remember, Romney is a Christ-Psychotic infected. He's all over the place. He's confused. He's changing his mind all the time. And this is happening in schizophrenia. Cognitive dissonance. Obama is firm. But he's the president. He knows a lot of things that Romney doesn't. See? That's the truth.
In Syria is a serious step. And we have to do so making absolutely.
Look at this Christ-Psychotic's face.
We are helping.
Do you understand?
in the hands of folks who eventually could turn them against us or allies in the region.
Man is sick. His brain is like a schizophrenic.
That Assad's days are numbered. But what we can't do
he is assertive.
Suggest that
look at his face.
At times has
it's telling the truth.
That giving heavy weapons, for example, to the Syrian opposition is a simple proposition that would lead us to be safer over the long term.
30,000 people being killed by their government is a humanitarian disaster.
What do you want to do? Attack him? Attack Syria with nuclear bombs? Is that what you want to do, you piece of shit?
In the Middle East, particularly
that's what he wants.
Syria,
bomb everybody.
Iran's
asshole.
In the Arab world. It's their route.
Christian, a Mormon, piece of shit, believing in
Hezbollah,
in all this kind of irrational crap.
Our ally.
Doesn't know what Hezbollah is, doesn't know what anything is, doesn't know he was created by a fuck, not a stork with a defective brain.
Replacement government being
that's what you think with, right here. The brain, asshole.
And finally, we don't want to have.
This guy will win for president?
We don't want to get drawn.
This piece of shit, lunatic?
And so the right course for
you don't want mentally ill people to be commander-in-chief.
Responsible.
Here's a disconnect. Those that don't know the past are condemned to repeat it. Philosopher Santayana said that. And people forget the Christ-Psychosis infected imbeciles because they don't teach them that in school. They don't teach them about the Crusades of the 1100s with the devious, psychopath, sadomasochistic Crusaders went over Nadi land, converting everybody and liberating the land of the Lord for 200 years. Just like Nazi Germany, same. They're all Christians. Christ-Psychotic, they're very psychotic people. And this is exactly what basically what the GOP is. It follows the traditions. And you know, it's all due to the Crusades. These are just the after effect, the aftershocks of the 600, 700 years ago of the Crusades. And this is Syria. Syria, Bashar al-Assad is a Christ-Psychotic infected imbecile. Marionettes, you know, the other section of division of Christianity, like Mormonism, which is also a strain of Christ-Psychosis. They all come from the same thing. All these Christian crap, Methodists and Baptists, all these strains, Catholics and all that strains. It's a psychosis, a mental illness. It's a malfunctioning brains that believe in resurrecting zombies and say with blood. And he doesn't realize that they're fighting the Muslim psychotics. Those are the rebels. Syria, Bashar al-Assad, Christ-Psychotic, is following the tradition of the Crusaders. And they are descendants of the Crusaders. But they have also these Muslims. They intermarry. And those are the rebels today. You know, two religious psychoses clashing. They forget that religious beliefs are a mental illness, not needed in this 21st century. That's what Romney is infected with Mormonism doesn't understand. The man is ill. We don't need Christ-Psychotic infected imbeciles for president. Look at Bush, Christ-Psychotic infected, and plunged the United States of America into useless wars, into a disgusting Christianity mental retardation, infecting the mind of children with the Christian fairy tales, retarded, sick fairy tales, deluded, irrational, homophobic, intolerant, and racist. Well, like in Nazi Germany, Christ-Psychotics, the Nazi Christ-Psychotics, you know, that's the reason of the Holocaust. This is the guy that wants to be president. He doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground about Syria, about the Middle East. The man is an imbecile, doesn't know any geography. Tunnel vision. That's what they teach you at Brigham Young University, a theotarded so-called university. People with their head up their ass, they don't have no idea about science, and that they were all created by a fuck. There is no God, there is no angel Moroni, there is no golden plates, there is no planet Kolub, none of that. But they still, and we should put all these people in mental institutions, in asylums, correct their brains, snap them. I slap them with the truth all the time in all my YouTube videos. Hey, faxed up bullshit walks.
Organize them, bring them together in a form.
That's the mind of an intellectual.
Not government, a form of
assertive,
council,
thinking, reasoning.
In Syria, and then make sure they have the
it's obvious. Look at the expression.
To defend themselves.
As the Friends of Syria, we are mobilizing humanitarian support and support for the opposition.
Look at this.
And we are making sure that those we help are
Christ-Psychotic.
Friends of ours in the long term.
You believe in the Prophet Moroni?
In the long term. But
golden tablets.
Going back to Libya, because this is an example.
Resurrecting zombies.
How we make choices.
Planet Kolob.
When we went into Libya, and
that's what you're thinking about.
Immediately stop the massacre there because of the unique circumstances.
The difference.
Of the coalition that we had helped to organize.
Both of these men, our POTUS. His title is POTUS, means President of the United States. This man was created by a fuck and a brain empty of knowledge that emerged, no knowledge, out of a woman's cave. This man here, also created by a fuck, emerging with a brain with no knowledge. But this man here couldn't get rid of the fantasies brought up in his family, which was Christ-Psychosis, believing in resurrecting saviors the same with blood, and also in Prophet Moroni, Planet Kolob, and the rest of stuff created in this brain when he was 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. And then he couldn't get rid of the fantasies of fairy tales of his childhood, including the religious fairy tales. So he got educated, did all that, get degrees, but then he embraced the Mormon psychosis, the fairy tales, mentally retarded beliefs of long ago. Mormonism, Christ-Psychosis, with Planet Kolob and all these bizarre metamagical fairy tales at the root of all religions. This man is a summa cum laude, brilliant brain, and he rejected the fairy tales of childhood, constantly asking for knowledge and all. That is the reason he got a summa cum laude. Not everybody can obtain such a high degrees of education. Self-made, half black, half white. And he didn't care, and he struggled. For this guy here, born in a rich family from a rich piece of shit, Romney, a Republican piece of garbage, Christ-Psychotic infected imbecile of long ago. Wealthy. He doesn't give a shit about people. He doesn't understand what being poor is. This man does. He's a mentally healthy. He's an atheist. He won't tell you, but he's brilliant. He can tell between the fairy tales of religious bullshit, psychotic, sadomasochism, perverted intolerance of Christianity, which is a mental disorder, and the rational thought of science produced by mentally healthy, in other words, an atheist brain. Who do you want to be at the helm of the pilot seat of America? Mentally healthy, brilliant man with a summa cum laude, highly intellectual, that is already present, he knows what's going on, or this Christ-Psychotic infected imbecile belonging to the Mormon psychosis that believe in resurrecting zombies, I say with blood, Prophet Moroni, golden plates, magic stones, magic underwear, and a Planet Kolob. And when everybody dies, you go to the Planet Kolob with the spirit. And on top of that, his church, the Mormon psychotic piece of shit, intolerant people that hate black, they are racist, piece of shit, study Mormon religion and you'll see. This man here gives money to the church, believes exactly all the bizarre metamagical beliefs of the Mormon church, showing that he has a defective brain just like any schizophrenic. And this man wants to be president of the country, wants to be in the pilot seat of America. He's just like a drug-addicted, mentally ill pilot being elected to fly a plane with 200 million passengers in it. See that? Everything is related. Economy is related, to foreign trade is related, to everything in America is related, not only one thing. This is, the Christ-Psychotic infecting America doesn't understand that. Who do you want? A mentally healthy, intellectual, or a Christ-Psychotic, schizophrenia infected imbecile to run the country? Choice is yours. Christ-Psychosis infected America. Wake up.
And you know why Americans are like 32 in science? They're ignorant of geography, science, they have creationism museums. And the cause of course, is Christ-Psychosis. It's a very poor education based on the retarded, schizophrenic, deluded, irrational myth of religious psychosis. Religion, theology, these people belong in mental institutions. They need a new brain. We are in the 21st century, not the 10th or the 4th, where people had no idea they had a brain. They thought the heart, it was the organ that created thoughts and where God and the soul resided. See how stupid and moronic these people were? They didn't have the technology, but it was the 10th century. Well, guess what? We are in the 21st. Hey, the brain is the creator of mind. A lobotomy will cure Christianity or any religious infection of zombie God beliefs or alien abductions or conspiracy theory nonsense. It's all created here. When the brain malfunctions, it only can produce disturbed, irrational, deluded, false thinking. That's a fact. Nobody seems to understand that. The Skeptic Society, the amazing Randy, brilliant mind. You have a challenge. $1 million to anybody that proves the supernatural is true and exists. Oh man. That actually is clueless. It's not, I mean, the man is brilliant, but I have a better challenge. I have a better challenge. People don't see it. Very simple. I will give anyone $1 million, any person infected with deep belief in God and zombie gods. I will give him $1 million to any Christian that believe in the spirits and all that. That if they submit to a lobotomy, frontal lobe executive operation, and me manipulating the locus coeruleus, the hypothalamus, it's just a little operation. If they still believe in Jesus Christ and they can actually believe all the stuff in the Bible like that, I'll give him $1 million. It's the thoughts are the same. If the operation doesn't affect the lobotomy, it doesn't even make him then I will give $1 million. Any Christian, Muslim, Hindu, anybody that believes in zombie gods and resurrecting saviors and all the crap like that, even alien abductions, you know, the aliens that build the pyramids, conspiracy theory imbeciles that don't realize that the ancients ate drugs 10,000 years ago and they drove all these weird things in rocks because they're under effect of drugs. The imbeciles of ancient aliens, these morons don't understand that ancient people, for rituals, ate datura flowers, henbane, yopal, and other entheogens. And the entheogens in their mind made him write and draw weird-looking things in the rocks. They're so stupid, these people, because they're Christ-Psychotic infected imbeciles. They all are born in Christian homes, and the Christianity infect their brains and make them retarded. Anyway, $1 million. If I operate your brain, you still believe in Jesus Christ, and zombie Allah, and angel Moroni, and all that, I'll give you $1 million. If it doesn't affect you, you'll be going like... Let's go back to Christianity infected Europe. In Germany in 1933, you know, Christian Hitler was very pious, but he hated, like everybody, hated the Jews that killed Christ, just like Americans do today. The whole thing, they think they were doing something pious and good for humankind, get rid of the homosexuals, the gypsies, the everyone, the blacks and all that, and get the Aryan race. This is the truth of America. And the reason Americans are very ignorant is because of Christianity, Christ-Psychosis. There are churches everywhere. These people are liars, despicable, stuck in the Middle Ages. They are retarded. And they send despicable, immoral missionaries like Romney going to places that don't belong to corrupt the people with their stupid, garbage lies of resurrecting zombies and Prophet Morai crap like Romney did in France. It is disgusting, it's disrespectful to go to countries and try to impose your stupid psychosis and schizophrenic beliefs on others that already have their own schizophrenic beliefs. There are as many religion psychoses as the brain can conceive. Let's keep that in mind. And this is the problem. Christianity, Christ-Psychosis, the one who infected America, is making America stupid, ignorant, deluded. Churches everywhere. What do you need a church for? Do you need your brain to be corrupted with lies and garbage in a deluded world of fantasies like drugs? Go to an opium den. If you want to escape reality, don't go to a church. Go to a den in which they give you LSD and give you drugs. And all that. This is the problem. Religion is disgusting. It keeps the mind, the churches keep rape the mind of children, keep people ignorant, American, stupid, intolerant, sadomasochistic, and ignorant. This is the problem. Christ-Psychosis. The mental disorder nobody sees, just like the schizophrenia.
Doctors go on to say that number would be a lot higher if, in fact, there weren't abortions for this particular situation. And this is
that I believe life is precious.
Christ-Psychotic.
I broke my bones. I believe that life itself is the greatest gift that God can give us.
Asshole.
And I
You're
know
created by a fuck.
Because polling shows it.
See?
At least that many Hoosiers think that God is the author of all life.
Yeah.
And I stand
Christ-Psychosis.
belief.
Yes.
God is cock. This imbecile doesn't realize he was brought up a fuck. He has God between his legs. It's his penis. That's why he passed DNA. Study evolutionary biology. The brain, when it malfunctions, creates God belief and religious and faith and crap like that. The more faith you have, the more ignorant and stupid and psychotic you are. And this is DNA replication. This is what God is, assholes. The Hox genes, study science. You have that all over your body. And your body is aging, is suffering radiation. We are evolved mutated primates. The only life after death you'll get is bacteria eating your rotten remains. A science fact. We're in the 21st century. We shouldn't allow any people of faith, which are psychotic imbeciles, in positions of government. These assholes shouldn't be on education. They shouldn't be making laws. They shouldn't be in Congress. They should be in asylums, fixing their brains like Romney and the rest of imbeciles in the GOP. Psychotic, stupid, sick people with defective brains. Brain operation will prove me correct. Here's the fact, as I always said. God is a creation of a malfunctioning brain. Deal with the fact and the truth. After the fuck, our DNA becomes replicating in the zygote. And we are nothing but evolved mutated primates. Our Hox genes form what it will become an evolved mutated primate, a human being. The embryos at a very early stage, they look the same in all animals. And this is science understood by the mentally healthy, in other words, atheists. These are facts. The truth. Some of God believe religious faith, psychosis, is actually created by evolutionary biology because we are evolved mutated primates. We have cognition and conscious. We are crazy apes. But this believing God psychosis was created to cope with the facts of life and reality, to cope with death. We don't accept that we are nothing but crazy apes that are going to decompose and cease to exist. No, We have to create the delusion there is a life after death, that our shit doesn't stink and they are superior to all animals. No. We are related to every life form on the planet by DNA. And if you study science, you realize that. That is the reason you have to invent religion and psychosis of God belief and rest of mythologies and crap like that. There are as many gods as the brain can create, but the brain creates that to cope with its finality, which is death. Deal with the facts. That's the reason. So a life after death has to be invented. And that's been going on for a long time. Like it doesn't exist. When you die, the only life after death is bacteria eating your rotting remains. Here are the facts. Hey, with the scientific evidence to prove it. Sorry, Christ-Psychotics. No God, no life after death. If you believe in God, you have wasted your whole life because you only have one life, one moment of existence in time. So here is the truth. You die, you rot. You have rigor mortis. And you decompose. And if you're in the field and you left your body's left of there, it will decompose and rot, rigor mortis, and then the spirit messengers, which are the birds, will devour your flesh and eat it and take it to heaven, like the angels believe. So when you die, you want to go to heaven? Let your rotten body just put in the desert. And then the birds will deflesh it. In just like about 4 hours. You'll have rotten bones. No Christ, no gods, no anything. And they will take your flesh. They will eat your flesh. You know, so they'll feel good. You feed the birds. And then they will go into heaven. And then they'll poop it. And then they'll shed your flesh. You know, so if you're a Christian, if you're believing God, you're a theotard, you're an ignorant imbecile stuck in the Middle Ages. So come on, join us in the 21st. If you believe in God, you're mentally ill. You're no different than a schizophrenic, infected with delusions. Hey, facts talk, bullshit walks. Proving a neurology lab. What I say is a fact.
You died in, if you're left there for a long enough period of time.
It takes about 3 hours after death for the ATP in our muscle cells to get completely used up. And then our muscles begin to lock into place. 2 different proteins. Tiny extensions from one grab and pull on the other over and over again to produce movement. To go of each other, they need an energy boost from a little molecule called ATP.
So what'll happen when you die, you stop producing ATP, so your muscles can't relax. And
vultures. Carcass to skin and bones is no surprise.
And I have vultures here, much better than eagles. They carry the souls to the heaven after they eat the flesh. And there he is. Many religions, they use the vultures to take the soul to the heaven by eating the pieces of the body that is decomposing.
Investigate the rate, pattern, and timelines of human decay.
Especially watch your step over.
This decompose faster in the shade than in the sun.
Most of the bodies that we lay out at our facility here in the sun never fully decompose.
Our bodies stink due to bacteria, and they smell like shit. We fart, we sweat, we smell like worse than monkeys and apes, and this is the reality of life. We are evolved mutated primates. We create God with the brain, it is malfunctioning. So keep in mind, the fact is we're evolved mutated primates, created by coitus. that emerge out of a mother's cave with the brain empty of information. If we accept these arithmetical beliefs as true after an education, means you have a problem with your brain. If you believe in God, you're a theotard and you have problems. We are in the 21st century, not the 12th. Let's elect mentally healthy, in other words, atheists, to lead us as president of this great country of ours. And put all the Christ-Psychotic in the mental institutions they belong. And hopefully we can actually remove all the churches which cause nothing but intolerance, immorality, sadomasochism, and keep the brain of children theotarded and stupid and ignorant. There is no God. We create the mind and the gods with our brain. We only have one life. When we cease to exist, we decompose. The only life after death is bacteria eating our rotten remains. Enjoy the truth. Pace Theorum.